And I was going to ask Malia, is this one that we record? And but it's good to be here and to finally meet everyone. My name is Christina Vopacelli. I was hired by NCHL in June of this year to serve as a senior manager for leadership programs, and I am down here in Southwest Florida. I've been down here for about 20 years, originally from New England. I'm a registered nurse from by background and have been in the organizational development space for the last 5 years or so. So coming to NCHL has been an awesome, exciting part of my life. And I've really enjoyed these 3+ months and am very excited to meet all of you. During the time in the summer, there was some shifting in council work and having all council calls and things like this. So this is our very first time to meet as a council, and I'm very excited. If we could, Jessica, is it okay? Can we go around and do introductions, get a chance to meet everybody?
I think that would be great. And if I haven't had a chance to meet everybody, although two of the group are coming from UPMC along with me, so I know them well. If I haven't had a chance to meet you, I'm Jessica Beakley, and I lead our learning and development team at UPMC, which is headquartered in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, but we've got a presence across the state and into some of the surrounding states. And I have the opportunity to chair this Lens Council for Leadership Development. So, always excited to get to meet members, get to hear from you about what will be most meaningful for you, which is, I think, where we want to spend some time today as we get into the agenda a little bit more. But great to be with all of you and see who may want to go next to introduce yourself.
Hey, Jazz. It's Melissa Reif Geyer. I am with Cone Health in Greensboro, North Carolina. I'm the Executive Director of People Development, so I'm over all things L&D for our organization, including physician and app learning and things like that. Nice to be with everyone today.
Thanks, Melissa. Christine, can I put you on the spot to go next?
Sure. Jess might already know me. So I work with Jess and I'm on her team. My name is Christine Hughes. I'm a learning and development consultant at UPMC. So I've been here about 3 years working with our physicians in leadership development. Nice to meet everybody. And should I popcorn it over to Marielle?
I knew that was coming. Hi, guys. My name is Marielle Saldudi. I am a senior learning specialist with the learning and development team here at UPMC. I work primarily with leadership and staff development, so not necessarily physician, but all of our other employees. And I've been with UPMC for about 4 years, first in a clinical role, and then about the last 3 years with learning and development team. And I am a special education teacher by trade, so enjoy, kind of being able to use those skills and, use it in a different way within the learning and development team.
Thanks, Marielle. Michelle, do you want to introduce yourself?
Hi, all. I'm Michelle Hill. I work at the Medical University of South Carolina in Charleston, South Carolina, where it is beautifully in the 70s today. We're not used to that. So excited to get up this morning and walk outside. And somebody said, it's cold. It wasn't, it was 60. But I am a leadership coach here at MUSC and have really enjoyed being a part of NCHL for the last, I want to say, 3 years.
Thanks, Michelle. Crystal, can I come to you?
Hi, everyone. I'm Crystal Seger. I'm a learning and development consultant at Cincinnati Children's Hospital Medical Center. And my role was developed just about a year ago, or I guess I started the position in December. It was designed, the role was created to build a brand new training program to fill gaps. So it's been quite an adventure building something from scratch.
Thanks, Crystal. Joe, do you want to introduce yourself? Oh, okay, got it, Joe. She introduced herself in the chat. Her audio is not working, so maybe Mariah. It's Mariah. Just making sure I say that appropriately. Want to introduce yourself if you're able?
So I think Mariah's audio isn't working either. Actually, Mariah and I are colleagues. She's also a learning and development consultant at Cincinnati Children's. I'm on the basic science research side of it, and she's on the clinical research side of it. Our positions were created at the same time.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Crystal. And Elisha, right? Do you want to introduce yourself?
Absolutely. Hello, everybody. I'm Elisha Hill. I serve as the Director of Leadership Development at Cincinnati Children's. I work with Crystal, so her and I are in different areas and departments. However, we have had the pleasure of crossing paths and partnering with each other, and that's been great. I've learned a lot from her, and hopefully she's learned some things from me and our team, but I'm happy to be here. And yeah, hello, everybody. Good afternoon.
Thanks so much, Elisha. It's good to see you and hear from all of you. So I think that covers all the bases, right? And we've got like
I'll just point to Malia. I'm sure Malia knows most people.
Oh, Malia, I'm so sorry. I'm sorry.
I'm always in the background.
Never in the background, always in our forefront.
Thank you.
Please go ahead, Malia.
Hi, y'all. My name is Malia Nellums. I'm the program coordinator here at NCHL, and I steer the NCAF program, so the Administrative Fellowships program that we run. And I have worked with a lot of y'all, have seen a lot of y'all. So when you see the notes come out after these meetings, that's usually me. But happy to be here, and it's always great to be on these calls. Thanks, Jess.
Thanks, Malia. We couldn't do it without you. All right, so now I think we've got all intros covered, and we've got like the East Coast sort of covered a little, the East into the Midwest. So excited to get to spend some time with you all today, and I know Christina has some updates to share with us too to start off.
Yes, thank you. Just some NCHL business to cover. I put in the chat links to 2 upcoming events that we have in Chicago. If you haven't heard, then we're not doing a great job of communicating it and getting it, but we've shared it on LinkedIn, M365, emails, our council calls, but we've got an awesome conference coming up. It's our annual Fall Leadership Excellence Council Summit, rather, in Chicago, November 17th and 18th. We've got over 30 presenters, panelists, keynotes, breakout sessions. It's really shaping up to be a fantastic agenda. Really looking forward to that time. Many of our Lens Premium members have complimentary tickets. If you haven't already registered, reach out to your primary contact. That may be you, but reach out to your primary contact and see if there's any, if there are complimentary tickets for you. And if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me after, myself or Malia, and we'll be happy to help you. Also, the 20th annual Gail Warden Excellence Award is going to be on the 17th as well. And then we've got a couple of updates that have to do with the competency model and things like that. But I'm going to hand it back over to Jessica for any opening remarks. It's been a bit since we've come together as a team, so I'll let her kick it off.
Yes. Thank you, Christina. And I'm curious, is anyone, I know Marielle and I are going to be presenting at the Fall Summit and, of course, attending other sessions. Is anyone else already signed up for the Fall Summit? Will we get to see you there? All right, well, I'm putting you on the spot. If you haven't, maybe, as Christina shared, something to go back and check on if you might even have complimentary tickets. I think this will be the 3rd or 4th year that I've had an opportunity to attend, and can't say enough great things about it. It's really a nice sized event that makes it, you recognize faces every day. You're getting to connect with folks. It's big enough that you do get really kind of a nice breadth and scope of opportunities to attend breakout sessions and joint sessions, but it's not so large that you feel lost in the crowd. And so you do get to make those connections and kind of build them over the couple days. And it's been a really fantastic conference opportunity to attend for me and members of my team over the years. So really encourage, if you do have an opportunity still to join, to check out. And hopefully if you do, we'll get a chance to meet you in person while you're there. So I'll just give that plug for it. And the Gail Warden event has always been a really, really nice event to attend when I've had a chance to do so. So recommend that as well. And I think it feels like now it's been a long time since this group got together outside of the all council calls. And so it's nice to get back together as a group and have some discussion. It's hard to believe that here we are kind of cracking into the true fall, into October, and whether or not the temperatures are reflecting fall just yet for some of us. It is, I think, always kind of that nice time to reflect back over the year, and then to start to think about where we want this council to go into the future, which is typically what we do as that year winds down. And so I think we're going to have some discussion on that a little bit later today. So maybe start to get your wheels turning on what do you want out of these interactions that we have together. It's been such a nice way to, I think, not only share best practices and a lot of connection ideas. Hey, I'm having this pain point. Even if it's just sometimes for a little validation that you're not alone in some of the challenges you're facing. And so we want to make sure that this continues to be a really nice place for you to come to connect with peers and to share those practices and to get also some really good feedback and thought partnership. So start to think a little bit on that. And I think those were really just the remarks that I wanted to share. We've got some exciting work underway with the Competency Model 4.0 project. And so, Christina, I'm going to volley it back to you to see if you want to talk a little bit more about that to share with the group.
Sure. Thank you very much. So yes, in the beginning of September, we kicked off the Competency Model 4.0 initiative, and the 3.0 model was shared probably about 4.5 years ago. So it was time for a refresh. Healthcare environment has changed drastically in that time since in the post-COVID world and the current AI worlds that we live in. So leadership competencies are evolving from those external factors, and then also what's happening internally with different workforce development, what's drawing people into healthcare, what's keeping them in healthcare. I'm really interested to learn more, just as a plug, so I don't forget about physician integration and that component. So just to share about so CMAC in healthcare, we love acronyms. And so CMAC is the Competency Model Advisory Committee. We kicked off in early September and had several dozen folks on the call from around the world. And the reason why that's an interesting part to share is because that is how our model's evolving as we're becoming more global, and how we deliver care, and where our patients are, and where our how we work together. We're including a global perspective in this model. And so we had folks from UK, Saudi Arabia, and then following the call, Canada reached out. All of Canada. No, but from Royal Roads, we had some professors and academics that are just fantastic, and I had done some of this work in our neighbors to the north, and we're very willing to share and to help. So that's what the makeup currently looks like. Where we are is we're interviewing a consultant to help us with this project, to help us with the research, with the focus groups, with the validation, with the survey, with developing the design of the model, and working with you all to develop something that's going to be very meaningful and helpful, not just for our NCHL members, but for healthcare professionals around, students, academics around the world. So these are the 3 vendors that we've interviewed. We just completed our interviews this week. They were fantastic. The proposals were really phenomenal. And it does come down to what's going to be a match for us and what we're looking to do. We intend to make a final decision in the next week or so, and we'll certainly share that with everyone. So this is where we are now. We intend to make the selection very soon. Why? Because we need to get this project going. And in Chicago, we're going to have a live focus group. So if you are planning to go to the conference and would like to be a part of this focus group, I'm looking at you, Jessica, Marielle, to be a part of it. Having industry members in the conversation is incredibly important. Obviously, our professors and our academicians are excited about this work when it comes to the theory and the research in the building, but we need to be able to translate it into practice. So that partnership between both is going to be incredibly important. And so then it'll be really the work in the spring and the summer, building the model, validating it, and then the goal is to present the final model at the conference in Chicago in 2026 in November. So those are kind of the broad updates of where we are. It's a good opportunity right now as we serve as the Leadership Development Council to be able to influence, have some visibility, and to have a great impact on shaping that model. I'll pause there. I just shared a lot of information. Look forward to your thoughts, comments.
Christina, I'm excited about this. I fully agree. Interesting. It will be interesting to see the evolution of where this competency model goes now in comparison to where it was for 3.0. And that's maybe one of my questions. Do we have access, or could you share with us the 3.0 competency model? Because I would just be curious again to be able to take a look at that, and then to see, as we help to shape out the next version. Just curious to take a look at it if that's possible.
Yeah, we can certainly do that. We'll share it just so it's easier for you to have access to it. I'm not sure if Malia, if you're able to drop it in the chat now, I can certainly dig around and get it as well. But we do have it on our storefront that's able to be downloaded. It's free to download. And what that helps us do when we use that method is it helps us track who's downloading and where.
Yeah.
And that's only meaningful for us because we like to know, location level, who's using it. And that helped us really. I mean, it's been downloaded thousands of times since 2018. China, Brazil, Saudi Arabia. So it's when people are Googling leadership competency model, they're seeing NCHL and they're going to it. And so that also lets us know that it gives us this awesome responsibility to be able to impact something that is going to be very valuable in shaping the future of leadership. The schools care because they want to create a curriculum that's going to prepare leaders that are future focused and able to join the workforce. And once they get to, the healthcare organizations, how do we continue to build them so that they're successful while they're there? So we'll be sure to get you that model, but maybe just a point of what we're looking for, and this might help, as we start to prioritize too, just something to think about. This is the part that really excites me. We don't have the solution yet, but these are the things that I'm curious about, is the leadership levels. So having a model that provides guidance for leaders at all levels. So frontline, mid-level leaders, senior level. That will allow us to look at what different competencies and capabilities are required at that certain level. How hard are they to develop? How do we help them grow? And then also, and this can be as can be complex, but also actionable. We want to make sure that the different operational leaders, nursing leaders, our physician leaders, there's different competencies that are required to be successful, different behaviors that we're looking for to be able to be successful. So we're going to be integrating those folks as well. So I think was it Michelle? You have the oversight with the physician leaders and integration, I believe.
Not me.
Was it Michelle?
Christine
I'm so
on our team, she works specifically with physicians. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Okay,
so I know
you.
we'll have interest for sure on that end.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. So yeah, I appreciate that. And yeah, any other questions or thoughts? Interest in participating can look very different. You can be part of a focus group. It could be, helping develop the survey, being a part of the survey, gathering the folks that need to provide the feedback. So we recognize how busy everyone is. And so there's an opportunity at every level of effort if you want to be a part, if you want to help us write papers and publish, absolutely. So a lot of works, but many hands make light work. So and a great product and a great, product at the end. So please reach out. Maybe something else to share before we kind of brainstorm together is a couple weeks ago, we sent out a survey to all Lens members. And the purpose of that survey was to unearth what's top of mind, what keeps you up at night, what are some priorities that you have in your organizations. And we surveyed live councils. Unfortunately, we didn't meet during the summer months, but we were able to capture via electronic survey. But we surveyed live councils as well. And these were essentially the topics that we had asked about. These topics were developed from Bridging Academia to Industry, as well as our NCHL leadership at the time. So just kind of combing through real quick, and then I'll get to the final slide. But we had about 51 respondents who completed the survey, and it was weighted. So it was a priority. What's most important to you? And so digital transformation, ethical AI adoption, maybe not a surprise for everyone that that's top of mind, regulatory pressures and funding stability, and then reductions in research. So I'll pause there and just ask for any comments or thoughts on this survey.
Thanks, Christina. I almost need you to say them one more time because I know that Marielle's so funny. We were on the same. I'm like, I heard AI and I was like, yep, absolutely. And then my brain kind of stopped as you continued.
I'm so sorry. I thought I was sharing my screen.
Oh, no. You're fine. This is great.
About technology and adoption. So am I sharing the screen now where you see the PowerPoint?
Yep.
Okay, where it has the 51 respondents here. Okay, I'm so sorry. I apologize.
Oh, no, you're fine.
Okay. So here we are. So digital transformation and ethical AI adoption rose to the top as the highest weighted response. Regulatory pressures and funding stability was just right below it, and then reductions in research and funding. You'll see the last four choices were student and staff mental health support, cost management and operational efficiency, workforce resilience and burnout mitigation, and then clinician research, pipeline, and succession. Some initial thoughts from steering committee and folks who are able to see this information. Even just yesterday, we had steering committee. Some initial thoughts is, while burnout mitigation, workforce resilience, many would argue that is always the priority. We always want our teams to be, feel safe, secure, find joy in the workplace, and be um, engaged in the work that they're doing. And so, while this is lower on the weighted priorities, there's a belief, or you could infer that if we can get some of this right, if we can really start to leverage technology and integrate it, so we've got, instead of 17 different software applications that we need to learn and update, if we can integrate, make it easier for decision making and patient care, then we can reduce burnout. I mean, that's clearly not there's not one thing that can be done, but that's essentially the belief as well. We care. So those are some just initial thoughts I wanted to share from other members. And then of course, financing being incredibly important as well.
Thanks for sharing them, Christina. And Christine said in the chat, those in red seem a little bit newer to the table, thinking about, the last year or so. And I think just it was interesting seeing the visual is, to your point, none of them are low necessarily, right? We see still this need that is at least kind of mid to high on each of these items. And so interested if the group agrees, are these the same considerations that are kind of top of mind for you too? They definitely resonate for me.
I think, Christina, to your point too, even looking at the student and staff mental health support, that also kind of correlating with the resilience and burnout, because, the two impact each other. And with all of these other factors, certainly that can not be great for mental health right now. So yeah, I can see not only, that to your point that, if we work on these, that those might have residual, impact as well, but also just how interconnected each of these things truly is, so I think to your point that regardless of what it is that is kind of heavily covered, we're going to see impacts in the other areas as well.
Some of what we're looking for when we're asking this is to help identify what's most important. What's funny, I had a mentor, kind of like, yeah, he's a mentor. He didn't know it, but he was. A couple years back, he worked in the lean operations department, and he was fantastic. But he told me something that I'll never forget, and it was the word priority is not plural. We always talk about priorities, and it's become so adopted that the dictionary kind of caught up and was like, okay, we'll call it priorities. It's not. Priority means one. So when we were sharing this, we wanted to identify what is a priority for our members, knowing that we really can focus on one thing at a time, but that all of it is important. And I say that, and then there's like, and we still want to address all of these things. So what this helps us understand is, as we build out experiences for our members for next year, does this look like a council? Does this look like a think tank? Do we have more coffee chats? Do we bring in external experts to share? Do we have more articles that are shared? And probably it's all of those things. So, but just creating space where we can bring in folks to talk about these things, and how do we use it within our organizations, and how do we plan for it, and how do we make sure that our teams are thinking about these tools and resources and things like that. So that's kind of why we were asking this information. And that might kind of, I guess, segue into what you will see in the next couple of weeks or so, we'll share our member prospectus. This is full transparency. I shared at the beginning, this is my first year with NCHL. And so building a member prospectus like this is new for me as well. But what and I think I can share it with this group affectionately, the learning and development folks and the organizational development folks, is wanting to take a look at our benefits and creating kind of domains of where those benefits land. And so here's our proposal of where we wanted to make sure that thought leadership was very clear, professional development opportunities were crystal clear, that there's networking and community building. What does it mean for organizational impact? And then recognition and influence. There's so much great work that you all are doing, and we want to make sure that we're able to highlight that, recognize it, and then create opportunities for cross, I don't know, pollination is the only word, like, or just creating connections so that, like, oh, Cone Health is doing this. I'd really love to learn more about that so that those connections can be made, or we provide a platform for that. Okay, let's do a talk on the work that you're doing over in Carilion. And then also recognize on LinkedIn. It's nice to be told that you're doing a good job, that you're doing great work, and something to be proud of. So those are some things that we are going to be changing. So just as a thought, and I guess maybe if we could, maybe Jessica kind of go around and maybe just open up. Are there any thoughts, concerns, ideas for next year, ways that we could change, influence, enhance the work that we're doing? Or offers too. I know, Jessica, you're offering to speak and come to the conference and share the great work that you're doing.
Christine, I really like this prospectus, and I think if you had asked me before showing the slide, I probably would have come up with almost the identical kind of overall buckets or thoughts here, at least from my perspective of what the value that being part of the council has brought, and I think our opportunity to even enhance that further. And it's always interesting to me. I think this forum right here, being one where we, it's a standing one where we all have this chance to come together. But sometimes I also think, and I think we heard some examples of it already today, this interaction often leads to maybe a follow-up between one or two of us on something that is specific to what we're navigating or dealing with, or NCHL has been fantastic in making some of those connections for me, where they're saying, hey, there's someone rolling out a new performance management system here. Would you be interested in talking to them? And that has really been beneficial too, because sometimes I think it's hard in this bigger group setting for everyone to either feel comfortable speaking up or asking those questions that might feel really specific to what you're going through in your organization. But I think that these align really nicely with what I would hope would be the goals for the council, and would just be curious to hear, how do we make it most meaningful for each of you? What are, in terms of what you're seeking, what you want to get out of it? It's a time commitment, and like anything, we are all so busy these days. And I think what I don't want to happen is for this to be the easy thing that you see on your calendar and go, not today, don't have time for that. If there's something I can skip, it's going to be this. And how do we make this really compelling for you to go, if there's something I'm not going to miss today, it's going to be this meeting, because it's going to give me exactly what I need from wanting to invest that time in it. So that would be my ask, is, think outside of the box too. What would be most beneficial for you from your participation in the council?
will share, Jessica, just to, well, folks are thinking about it. Part of what I've heard most in the short time that I've been here is that the relationships being built are incredibly valuable. And the ability to share ideas and bounce them off someone, an expert, either in a different part of the country or similar healthcare system size and, demographic in which they serve. But building those relationships and being able to do that, I thought that we're considering kind of like bopping around if would be of use, which we certainly, what I love about the executive leadership team here at NCHL is they are innovative and they stand by their word. Like, let's try it. Let's go forward and try it. So what we're thinking about doing is some kind of like workshop style. So like we've got a council meeting where we can come either bring in a presenter, share amongst us what's going on, what's going well, where we need some help, but then also have like workshops where we could bring in someone or have someone lead where we actually are working on a similar project or problem together. And then there's something actionable at the end of that time. It could be an hour, 90 minutes, something like that, recognizing everyone's busy. But also like learning lab type things where it could be maybe a little bit more webinar style where someone is presenting something and you could eat your popcorn with no judgment. And then we could have like resources and tools that are shared out after, but having like more options like that are like learning focused and professional development focused as well.
This is so interesting, Christina. Because I'm looking at our Christine. We just had a meeting this morning and we were talking about just this sense too of maybe experiencing 5 years, into COVID time and virtual interactions. And this is, please do not, this is not to call anyone out. But we were talking about just more of this inclination. And they're kind of unspoken rules too when you get on a virtual meeting now. If nobody's on camera, you're not going to get on camera. If everybody's on camera, you're going to get on camera. They need to feel on camera so much during the day now, and how our learners are even showing up for virtual interactions and where we're seeing some of those preferences. And we were talking about some of our preference for learning these days. And it was to be able to like turn the camera off and like listen in. Maybe I don't have to engage beyond like, and some of us working remotely, like folding my laundry while listening, because that's how I'm going to be able to connect, because I'm not going to be distracted by my email that's over here and the IM that's popping up for me too, while I'm trying to actually learn something that's going to be valuable for me to take back. And so it's just interesting, I think, how we're all going through this evolution and where we're at with virtual interactions, and what's going to be most beneficial. So I like even just some of that idea of even the recent all council calls. Those have been nice to be able, I'm not on camera, but I can listen in and engage with the conversation in the way that is going to be useful for me. So I think it's thinking through some of those modalities and the way that is going to be most useful for everyone. Mm-hmm.
Way to kind of pull that thread a little bit more. Sorry if that sounded like very cliche, but yeah. There is alignment with the work that's being done with the competency model, because what's going to happen is we're going to open up some perhaps maybe typical leadership behaviors, but then maybe some others that are not. And so we'd want to be able to offer growth opportunities for those leadership competencies that we're identifying. So we see this like for the future of the competency model to be able to not only provide the guidance for what the effective leader will look like at various levels, but then how to offer educational opportunities to like on a micro level. I'm huge fan of like micro credentialing, and we've even discussed like digital badging. So if there's a specific competency like interpersonal savviness or organizational savviness, something like that, where we could offer a learning opportunity could be 3-hour session. Don't want to make it up because we don't know what the content is, but just to give you an idea. And then at the end of that, there could be some kind of a digital badge or micro credential associated with that. Those are some things that we're exploring too, so that it becomes a transformational relationship that we're building here, not just identifying what we need and then, okay, good luck, everyone. But, now we've got really smart people in our network, exceptionally smart. You all are phenomenal leaders, and very eager to help. So how do we kind of help each other in a way, in that way? So some other ideas.
I think that's a really great point. There's so much alignment with the competency model. Remind me of the timing again of when it's anticipated to be launched.
Yeah, it'll likely be launched the end of the summer, early fall next year.
Okay.
The completed model, and then be presented in November of 2026.
Exciting.
Yes.
So can I ask a question? So
Of
it's
course.
not that I don't care about these meetings. It's just usually we have training on days like today, and so I don't attend very many of them. So when you were talking about the 3-hour workshop on what have you, who would the audience be? The audience would be the members of NCHL, correct? Not just the members of this group. And I'm sorry, I just don't know, and I'm gonna ask. So
No, it's a great question. So we'd likely open it up to all members. So one of the great opportunities with leadership development is every other council wants it too. So we'd likely
Yes.
open it, yeah, likely open it up to other
Okay.
members too.
Got it. Because I was thinking if it were something that you're talking about just with this group, what I think would be really helpful, and I'm not sure this is the right space for it, but for this group to learn something new, and like you were saying, I think people do love badges. That's something we've talked about, and at least on our side, haven't moved forward with. I think we are looking at that, but aside from the badges, I think sometimes it's nice to have that facilitation kit that goes so that I can now take it back to my space and do that same sort of thing. And then again, I'm not super familiar with what happens in this group, but I see that as something that would be really valuable for me personally.
I think that's a great point, Christine. I know it's something we've kind of kicked around over the last couple of years too. And I think, again, could be really interesting to see how each of us would use the new competency model and introduce related education to our own organizations, to your point. And so if there's ability or willingness to share even some of that, to your point around some of these competencies, that would be interesting, and we can kind of help each other out in that.
Yeah. Christine, so I've had the opportunity to attend and facilitate several councils. Every council has their own culture, has their own, personalities and come in and what they want to. And really, Jessica, you were saying like then the purpose and what you want to get out of it. I will share. Was it last week, Malia? We had the culture, community, and access leadership, formerly the DEI council, but so you get the idea of kind of what we're focusing on. And we brought a speaker from. She was in she was a private school associate dean at a boarding school outside of Boston. And her area of focus was developing culturally competent students and programming. And so she had a curriculum kind of design focus and also more programming for the entire school and like how she did it. So she came in and talked a little bit about what she did. She also had like a book list of all the books that she really liked. But just thought to bring back for your own self-study, but then also either in her, focus were the students, but it was also, the parents, the board members, her other, colleagues, academic colleagues. So that kind of gave, it was about 15-minute talk, and that gave us some good space after to kind of debrief and like, how would we use this? So that was one way, in some way also that, this council could provide to bringing in an external speaker just for a little bit and then give us a chance to kind of debrief after.
I love that idea.
One more thought on just like council structure is, so as 2026 kind of evolves too, a thing that we're thinking about is to make the most of the council's time, that we have these councils meet, like this type of structure would meet like in the spring. The summer could be those workshops, those educational professional development opportunities, all council calls, those kinds of things, where all the councils come together. And then in the fall, we do the same thing. The councils would meet again and work on things. Then we've got in November, we've got the summit as well. So kind of like keep it live in it, keep it fresh. And so that every time we meet, there's something kind of like new, but also structured. That's kind of my personality. I'm kind of, like the structure, but also let's like freshen it up.
Yes, I think that resonates with a lot of us. Thanks, Christina. It's exciting to hear some of those thoughts on ways to refresh it, revitalize it a little bit for everybody. I think that's how many of us thrive too. So appreciate those considerations. Other thoughts, ideas that you want to share? And maybe we'll keep it open-ended too, that, if you think of anything after our time together today too, please don't hesitate to pass it on to me. I'll offer you up, Christina. Anyone keep kind of noodling on it and pass on any of those considerations.
Can I ask, so I think I believe Michelle had said she had been here for quite some time. I know, Jessica, you have also, there's lots of folks who've been here a lot longer than me. But can you tell me about like the coaching exchange program that we had at some point? There was some kind of offering of kind of, Malia, help me out, where like we exchanged coaches across organizations, really, or made those connections for folks to do so. I was curious. A member had shared that with me, and I wanted to just learn more, and if this council was involved with making that happen.
It's a good question, Christina. I know we did not participate in it, but if I'm recalling, it might have been, I don't know if it stemmed from the coaching program and then a trade, to your point of, because I know, you're always trying to get your coaching hours. If it was kind of this offering up of clients from each other's organizations to try to get those hours built, offering that kind of reciprocal coaching. That's what comes to mind for me. It's kind of ringing a bell, but I don't think we've had anyone participate in the coaching program nor in the coaching exchange. So I couldn't give you too much more intel. Melissa, who had to hop off, has also been with the council for a while. She may have some additional insight, but does anybody else who's on the call still have any connection to that or memory of it?
I actually don't have any memory of that. I know about the coaching program, so maybe what Jessica is saying is it was part of that. But I don't remember any coaching exchange type thing, and it's not anything I've heard of in the last couple of years spoke about at the conference either.
That's helpful. I hear it just come up as a topic too, as some things that internally organizations are working at, either building out on at different levels, like coaching to help with leadership succession or and retention and engagement. Also with like new managers, so like new folks coming into management, ensuring that they're like paired with a coach, those kinds of things. So just kind of curious. with just a couple minutes left, is that kind of a topic of interest for you all? Is that something that you're working on, or you have it all figured out? If that's the case too, I want to pick your brain.
Can I just want to make sure I understand, were you asking about if we're interested in learning more about like an internal coaching function and standing one up? What are your
Yeah, my initial question was what did this council or NCHL, your understanding of what NCHL offered for a coaching exchange program is what I had heard it referred to as. But then I transitioned. So sorry for the confusion, but I transitioned to ask if that topic in service of leadership development and profession, if that topic of coaching is something that is a priority for you, is something that you're interested in either at the organizational level or perhaps that we can explore how that would look for all of our members. Perhaps even sharing best practices, like what's working well in your organizations. Or
I'll speak for us. I am, or for myself, maybe more so. I am interested in learning more about what other organizations have done or are doing to create maybe a internal coaching function, and what those, getting a little bit tactical in terms of what those steps look like, and really kind of would love to hear from people who are at different stages in that journey. So one who's maybe just a few steps ahead in terms of just, getting the conversation started and the structure together. And then maybe a couple other organizations where, maybe they've had it established for a year, or someone else who maybe have had it established for like 5 years or something like that. I'm just throwing those years out there. But yeah, that would be my perspective.
Coaching is definitely of interest for us too. We have some coaches on our team whose day jobs prevent us from coaching. So we're always trying to think, how do we use those skills in a way that I hate to use the word scale, but we have so many leaders that could benefit from coaching. And we do not, which I think some have shared in this group, a lot of organizations have set up kind of a internal coaching like certification. So coaches in the organization kind of certify others to be coaches. We have not gone down that route beyond kind of physician peer coaches, which is a little bit of a different focus. But I think we're always interested in the whole coaching idea, and it fits so hand in hand with a lot of our leadership development efforts. Elish, I see you've got your hand up.
Yeah, and I will just say this is probably top of mind for me because I have the opportunity right now to participate in the HCI program, and I've enjoyed it so far. It's been great, and I know a part of it is to practice coaching, and really kind of get some hours under your belt. And so I don't know if there is any opportunity to kind of in some way integrate that or merge that, where maybe people in this space who leaders from different organizations, if they're we've got people who need coaching hours, and we've got people who in this space might want to coach or things of that nature. So I'm just curious if maybe there's some creativity there and some I don't know, cross-pollination that we can do when it comes to that program and what NCHL is doing or trying to tap into.
definitely. Yes, Alicia, thank you for sharing. Absolutely. And I'd love to catch up with you too to hear more about how your experience is going with HCI as well. I know DJ is going to be presenting also at the conference in November as well, and I've got the opportunity to meet her virtually. But It sounds like a fantastic program. So to answer your question, the short answer is yes. Let's figure out more how we can get you connected, and think more about how we could do that. Totally open to it, right, Jessica? I see you shaking your head. That's why I'm saying yes. It looks like our chair is in agreement too.
Most definitely, yes. Yes.
I know we only have like 2 minutes, but MUSC has a coach program. We have 2 full-time internal coaches, 2 internal coaches who are part-time, and then other people who have been trained in coaching. We teach coaching conversations and coaching skills to all of our new leaders on the health side. We offer coaching tools class each month for anyone who wants to take it, so people can learn powerful questions, active listening, that sort of thing. So we're trying to become a coaching organization. I am only the second full-time coach who's been hired, but we're hoping to hire more. And just this year, Joe being one of the other coaches, she actually also has another like full-time thing that she's doing as a program manager of the Leadership Institute. But she and the leader of the Leadership Institute, also there are 2 kind of like, I don't want to call them part-time because they do coaching a lot, but they do coaching as well. So I think we're on the right track, but it's going slowly. But in the almost year that I've been a coach, I have seen a lot of growth in our program. And again, it's 2:00, so I'm not going to keep going. I could talk about it for quite some time, but it's very exciting for us.
It's awesome. Thanks for sharing, Michelle. Thanks everybody for sharing thoughts and feedback. And again, I'll just make that plug of keep thinking on it and don't hesitate to share after our meeting wraps up today. And appreciate all the updates, Christina and Malia, and looking forward, if you are able to attend the conference in November, looking forward to seeing you there, hopefully.
Great.
Anything else before we wrap? All right. Have a good afternoon. Take care.
Awesome. Thank you all.
Bye. Thanks.